What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Prediction Center here on Three-Sided Box, NFL edition. We are going into week 8, I believe.
Yeah, week 8.
This is week 8 now. So yeah, let's kick it off right away. Again, obviously Johnny and Eric could not be with us. Hopefully they'll be back with us soon, because the cast is getting smaller and smaller, and it kind of sucks. So let's move on to the first game of the week. We got the Thursday nighter. Oh wow. Okay. So we got the Jaguars at the Titans for our Thursday night game. Wow, like
gotta call it a game.
Honestly, like irrelevant bull status doesn't even begin to make anything for this.
Talk about
and this is a seriously prime time. Get your shit together, NFL. Come on. Anyways, what do you have?
Well, from the game I saw last week, the Jags actually have a pretty good defense. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. It's around.
It's okay.
It's a bit above middle of the pack. It's probably like 13 or 14th in the league, which is pretty solid, pretty good improvement. But man, Blake Bortles' mechanics are just completely off. That offense with our defense was pretty shut down for most of the game, and the only reason they got quite a bit of yards is because they had a lot more time of possession. And I don't know, man. It's just like there's so much inconsistency within the Jags. I'm gonna go with the Titans on this one. I like their run game. I know they lost last week to the Colts, and they're kind of an off and on team. But man, I really feel like they're the better team. They have a good defense and they have a good run game, and those are two formulas to.
So you got the Titans.
To win. Yeah, with the Titans.
Well, Johnny is gonna go with the Titans, not his. He hates them. The Titans. I'm gonna go with the Titans as well. The Jags have been less than impressive in my eyes. They're very far from
where they need to be.
Yeah, and they're clearly... I mean, they're moving in the right direction, but when you're moving at like a foot an hour, things aren't looking too good for you. So, yeah, alright, so we're on the Titans this week. Terrible Thursday nighter. Get your shit together, NFL. And I know every team needs to have one, but you don't need to put these divisional matchups of two incompetent teams against each other. But anyways, let's see what happens. Let's move on to Sunday games.
Alright, so next up in the 9 o'clock game in London, we have, another one. We have the Washington Redskins heading into, I don't know if it's Wembley, but they're playing the Cincinnati Bengals in London. Yeah, I know, kind of random, but regardless. At least it's not going to be a boring one. At least it's not like the Rams against like the Dolphins, you know, like...
Do people not understand the Redskins suck?
I mean, I don't understand that. Regardless, who's your pick?
Well, I'll throw it off with Johnny's. He's got the Redskins. For once, he's picking them.
Oh man.
And the game you shouldn't. I'm going with the Bengals because it's the obvious pick. The Redskins suck. Yeah, they put on a show against the Lions. Wow. Wow.
The Lions that beat your team.
Wow.
Remember that game?
Oh yeah. Wow. Wow. I'm picking the Bengals.
Believe it or not, I'm going to go against the Redskins, and I'm going to pick the Bengals in this one, but it's mostly because Josh Norman, I think he's out with a concussion.
Yeah,
and
she gave him so.
AJ Green is probably top 3 receiver in the league, and he's pretty much uncoverable.
He was going to beat Norman anyways.
Yeah, but now without him, I mean, he's probably going to go over like 150 yards. So pretty much how are you going to cover AJ Green? And Tyler Eifert's back, so it's good news for the Bengals and all those Bengals fans. So I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one.
Okay, so 2 Bengals and Johnny's got the Redskins for some reason. So we'll see what happens in London. Let's go back to the USA. Next game. For our next matchup, we got the Kansas City Chiefs walking in to Indianapolis to face Johnny's Colts. Interesting matchup. Who do you have coming out of this one?
It's a pretty easy choice, to be honest. Kansas City's, while they are a very simplistic team, pretty much they're based off a very obvious system of quick, high percentage passes, running the ball, and good defense. And the Colts, I don't believe... Have they played Denver? Yeah, they have played Denver. Okay. I was about to say they haven't saw a defense this good yet, but they saw one pretty much better. So, But still, Kansas City's up there with the best. I'm going to go with Kansas City on this one, and pretty tight defensive battle.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Kansas City too. Andy Reid tends to do well against Indianapolis, as my memory serves. Yeah, if we were able to beat Peyton Manning with that great team back in the day, there's no reason why Andy Reid can't beat this really bad team led by a great quarterback nonetheless. But it's not the team that they used to have. So I think the Chiefs should win this one actually in easy fashion. I think it might even be a blowout. Let's hope for Johnny's sake it's not, but it probably will be.
Probably.
All right, next game.
All right, so next up we got the Arizona Cardinals, who are coming back, even though they tied last game, which was probably the oddest Sunday night game I've ever seen in my life.
Monday.
No. Yeah. No. Monday was Denver.
Then you're right.
Houston.
My bad.
That game was just irrelevant, so nobody cared about that game. So this was the highlight, I guess you're saying. So we got them heading into Carolina to play the Panthers, who are coming off a bye week and are struggling. What do you got?
Oh God, I'm still recovering from my very bad flu. Getting better, for those who are wondering, but I'm still not 100%. I'm gonna give it to the Cardinals. They're both semi-struggling teams. I mean, the Panthers are really struggling, but the Cardinals are semi. You know, they're okay. Their defense played really well last week, but their offense was nowhere to be found, which has been the story of the season for them. Very weird because Arians is an offensive guy. But I think the Cards are going to take it. I think the Panthers are... I think it's a lost season for them. I think it's over.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Beginning of the season, I said the Panthers are not going to make the playoffs. Was my kind of bold prediction. And so far, it's looking pretty good for me. And plus, to add on this game, I'm pretty sure the Cardinals had this game circled when they saw the season release rematch, in April. Rematch of that debacle NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to mess up this one. I got the Cardinals in this one.
Johnny's on our side. He's got the Cardinals. We know he loves Bruce Arians. So, but this could be the game that the Panthers wake up and could save their season. If there's one game, this could be the one.
This is it.
So, but if they lose 1-6, you're not making the playoffs. Yeah. And not in that division where the Falcons are in it for some reason. If it was a regular season for that division,
it's still pretty close in that division, man. The Bucks aren't too far behind. The Falcons are only 4-3. Well, they have been playing well. They're only 4-3 though. So.
Yeah. All right, so we're on the Cards. Let's move on to our next matchup. Next up is a very special matchup. We got Eric's Tampa Bay Lightning hosting Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh,
wrong sport. I'm still, like I said, recovering. We got Eric's Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting Michael's Oakland Raiders in Tampa. A game in which we will be there live to see it. As last year we were in Philly to watch the Bucks murder the Eagles. This year, who knows what's going to happen. It looks like the Raiders might run away with this one. So you can't pick. So I'll throw it off with Johnny's pick, which he has... nobody. Apparently he's not picking this game. Oh no, Raiders. There it is. Raiders. I'm looking for the Bucks. That's why he's got the Raiders winning this one. For me, I think just because we're gonna be there, it's not gonna go for as planned for you. The same way it didn't go as planned for me.
It's a reasonable explanation, actually. I was thinking about that when I was sleeping the other day. I was just like, what? I really hope that goes well and hope it's a competitive game and hope we come out.
For those who don't know, last November the Eagles lost 49-17 in Philadelphia to the Buccaneers. Our first ever NFL game. Which we spent lots of money to go travel for the team not to give a shit and not show up.
Thanks, Chip. Good. Thanks, Chip.
So I'm gonna give it to the Raiders. Though I think they're gonna win this game. The Bucks don't seem to be on the same page this year with some injuries, and the Raiders seem to be clicking quite well actually. So give your 2 cents.
Well, I have to say is just I hope it's just a competitive game. I hope it's a good game. I hope we win. But if we're gonna win this game, we're gonna have to shut down Mike Evans and force him to run the ball and kind of like load the box.
Yeah.
So put a safety over top on Mike Evans. Stay in your coverage. Don't screw up and load the box to stop the run, and we'll be fine.
It's just the Bucks usually tend to win games that they shouldn't. And this looks like a game that they shouldn't.
Look, every game the Raiders have played even last week, could have been a losable game. Every game so far this season, we could be 0-7 right now. But we're 5-2. We're sitting pretty at 5-2. But I like our resilience. I think we're learning how to win. If not, we already learned how to win. And we're showing it, especially we saw it in the Saints game. So hopefully it can just continue and we could go 6-2 because 6-2 is going to be big to make the playoffs, especially in that division.
Alright, so me and Johnny are picking your Raiders. Hopefully, for our sake, the Raiders win, because Eric's seen a bunch of games, so who gives a shit. Plus, he saw them kill the Eagles last year, so I'm just hoping for nice weather and a good beach. So we'll see what happens next game.
Alright, so next up we got the Seattle Seahawks heading into the Big Easy to play the New Orleans Saints. Who do you got?
I'm going to pick the Seahawks. They're clearly pissed that they lost. They tied, excuse me. 2 missed field goals.
I don't know what's worse for them. What makes them more angry at that?
I don't know. But anyways, regardless, the Saints will put up points because Drew Brees can score against anybody. But they have no defense, and I think the Seahawks are going to be angry and try and score some points early and fast, and should be an easy win for them.
Yeah, you pretty much went through everything I was going to say. Seahawks in this game, man. If the Raiders could beat the Saints, the Seahawks sure as hell can beat the Saints.
Yeah, well, then Johnny's not picking the Seahawks, he's picking the Saints.
Wow.
Yeah, upset City.
Upset
City.
Man. You should bet on that.
You should bet, yeah. Anyway, so 2 Saints, sorry, 1 Saint, 2 Seahawks. Should be an easy win, though. I think Johnny's a little bit on the crazy side today. Alright, next match. So next up, we got the Detroit Lions finally hitting the road and playing the Houston Texans, who are coming off a very, very disappointing loss to the Broncos on Monday night. Who do you have?
Lions are riding a pretty big high. Coming back, beating the Redskins, obviously beating you guys, and I don't know who they beat before.
In between, I don't remember.
I don't know. All I know is that they won like 4 in a row or something like that. 3 in a row. They're pretty hot, so I'm going to stick with the hot team on this one. I think the Texans do have a shot. Whenever you have DeAndre Hopkins, you have a shot. But Brock Osweiler, man, that guy's been a crazy disappointment. Like, man, I don't know how they pay him that much, to be honest. That's crazy. That's some crazy money for a very, very below average quarterback. Not even mediocre.
Below average.
Below average.
Low average.
Like, yeah, so I'm going to go with the Lions on this one.
Yeah, Johnny's got the Lions as well. I'm going to pick them too. The Texans have been extremely disappointing. And you know what? As much as I think J.J. Watt's a little overrated, I think his leadership in the locker room goes a lot more than his leadership on the field does. And ever since he went down, that team has been completely different. So yeah, I'm going to pick the Lions to win this one. Like you said, $72 million or 74, whatever
72.
It is for that quarterback, man. For a 4-2 record with a great defense. Who did nothing.
And good weapons on offense. They have good. Will Fuller's good.
Last year with the Broncos. I mean last year before he
got last year. Sorry.
Yeah. Alright, so we got all 3 of us are on the lines. Very shocking. It's not something you hear often here on Prediction Center, but when playing the Texans, it's kind of hard to pick for them. Next game.
Alright, so next up we got probably the most interesting 1 o'clock matchup. We got the New England Patriots heading to Buffalo play the Bills, who just seem to beat all the teams that they shouldn't beat and lose to the teams they shouldn't lose to. Typical Bills. That's Buffalo. Who do you got?
I got the Pats. I think they're pissed that they lost to them early this year.
It's true, they did.
Yeah, it's a rematch already. I don't know if Shady McCoy's playing, but he's definitely not playing at 100% regardless.
It's their only hope of winning.
Exactly. There's nobody else on that team. Rex Ryan is not a good coach. So yeah, I got the Pats. I think Tom Brady's pissed and he's gonna score a lot.
Yeah, I got the Pats too. It's really hard to beat Brady and Belichick when they see you twice a year. I mean, to get swept by them 0-2.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be able to steal one, but then when they come back and they just revise what they did wrong, that same mistake won't happen again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Pats on this one.
All right, Johnny's got the Pats as well. It's hard to pick against them, just like you said. So
it's
we're all
Patriots, man.
Yeah, exactly. So we're all on the Pats. Good luck to the Bills. I love you, Shady, but you don't got much of a chance. Next game. So next up, we got our second irrelevant bowl of the week. We got the New York Jets riding in to Cleveland to face the Browns. No one's watching this game. Everyone's watching the Cavs and the Indians.
Yeah.
So what do you have?
Well, honestly, even though the Jets are kind of a debacle in the locker room where is it Fitzpatrick? What's his name again?
Fitzpatrick? Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Sorry, I was thinking of Fitzgerald for some reason. My bad. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's pretty angry that the management and coaches, rightfully so, don't trust him as a quarterback. And Todd Bowles is not having it. So it's kind of like some controversy. Geno Smith just got injured. That guy can't catch a break, man. But regardless, if they're playing any other team, I'd probably pick against them. But they're playing the Browns, and it's the Browns.
But the Jets just won this week.
Yeah, they did. I actually picked them to win, so I got a W from them. So thank you. They are a good team. They have good defense. Forte, still Matt Forte's beast, but man, there's just something about that organization that just doesn't go well. So, but I'm still gonna go with the Jets.
Oh god, Johnny's got the Jets. I'm gonna pick the Jets, just solely for the reason that they're playing the Browns, and the Browns they might go in 16 this year, especially if two of their teams win championships in the same year.
Yeah, like
the Browns literally will have to make up for that and not win anything.
It's compensation, man.
Yeah, so anything's possible. I still think the Cubbies are taking it, but Jets are winning this game for sure.
It doesn't look too good on this screen.
It's still early. 3-0 Cleveland at the bottom of the fourth, game 1. But anyways, moving on. We all got the Jets. Next game.
All right, so next up we got another divisional matchup, a repeat of pretty much 2 weeks ago. We got the San Diego Chargers heading into Denver to play the Broncos. Who do you got?
I'm going to give to the Broncos. They were pissed they lost that game. I think it was because of the jerseys. Even though they were nice on both teams. I think it was just Thursday night air.
If there's one thing I'll give the Chargers, they always have nice jerseys.
They do, especially those powder blue.
That's true.
Anyways, they're not the best, but they're pretty nice. But the Broncos are going to win this one. They're coming off of a huge win against their former quarterback. One that we all expected, but a big win nonetheless. Yeah. They completely shut them down. The Chargers aren't that great. I mean, they're good. They're okay this year, but they're not finishing games. And the Broncos, I think they learned their lesson from last time. I think they really underestimated them, and this time they're not. So, Broncos.
I'm gonna agree with you. I like what the Chargers are doing. They could easily be 7-0. Like if it wasn't for some stupid mistakes that are easily correctable, if you have good fundamentals and good knowledge of football. But regardless, my point is that they're still like they can compete with Denver. I don't think they're gonna win, but I think it's gonna be a close game. I think Denver has kind of been exposed where their weakness is spreading the field and putting man-to-man on their linebackers or forcing zones so you could pass within those gaps in the zone. So I think Rivers is pretty good at that. He's pretty much a master at spreading the offense. So I think he's going to keep it close. But that Denver team, they have their head coach back and they have Simeon back. So it's two big wins for them in that regard. So I got the Broncos coming out.
All right, Johnny's got the Broncos too. So all three of us are picking that orange and blue and mile high. So we'll see what happens next game. Next up on the last afternoon game of the week, we got Green Bay Packers heading into Atlanta to face the Falcons. Two teams surprising their own way. One a little bit disappointing, one very, very good. So who do you have winning this one, Michael?
I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one.
Okay.
Honestly, Green Bay hasn't impressed me at all. I thought that they'd be able to... Granted, Minnesota's doing really good, but regardless, I think they'd be able to... I thought that they'd be able to run away with the division with Bridgewater and all those guys out, and they've... I don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers, as good as he is, I guess like we're so used to his standard of play and his insane stat line that maybe his kind of mediocre numbers, which are pretty much resemblant of Derek Carr, and we're praising Derek Carr, but we're downgrading Aaron Rodgers. That just shows how good Aaron Rodgers is. But regardless, he's still not playing up to his standard, and neither is the team, especially in the pass defense and creativity part and running the football and all that stuff. So I'm going to go with the Falcons in this one. Even though they lost a pretty tough game last week, they had, I think, a 17-point lead. They were winning 27-10, and they ended up losing to the Chargers. But Chargers are no jokes, and so it's pretty admirable loss. I think they're going to learn from it, and I think Julio Jones is going to torch them.
Alright, well, Johnny's going to pick the Packers this week. He believes in them, I guess, for some reason. Don't really know what to say. This is a tough one for me, but I'm going to give it to the Falcons, mostly because they're at home. But I will say this, though. If the Packers win, this is the loss. The Falcons will not make the playoffs.
It's a pretty.
Game. They will make the playoffs. They'll win the division because the division's terrible, but they're gonna start losing from here on out if they lose this game, because then the Packers are gonna be back and the Falcons will be back in the reverse way. All right, so 2 Falcons and Johnny got the Packers. I think we've agreed on everything basically so far.
A couple things here and there, but mostly.
Anyways, next game.
All right, next up for our Sunday night matchup, probably the best Sunday night matchup you'll see this year based off how ridiculous this game could go. We got the Philadelphia Eagles heading into Jerry's World to play the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott and those 2 rookies. Who do you got? Oh, sorry, you can't pick.
I'm not picking.
Who does Johnny have? He has them boys, them Cowboys. They're able to run the ball. They got Dak Prescott, who's playing pretty well, safe but well. That O-line's doing a pretty good job, and I know you disagree, but regardless, I'm spewing facts. His opinion, regardless. But I'm going to disagree. For the sole reason that for some reason in the NFC East, at least between these 2 teams, Dallas and Philly, when it's in Philly and they're playing each other, the Cowboys always win. When it's in Dallas, no matter what happens, you can throw the records out the window, the Eagles will always win. That's why I'm going with the Eagles in this one.
And it's always in like heartbreak, like 4th quarter interception.
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. You can't explain it.
Last year, 2 years ago, Brandon Boyd killed the interception.
That was actually a great interception. That was funny. Yeah. That was one of the funniest moments.
That was hilarious.
But regardless, I'm going with the Eagles in this one. I think that they have a better defense. Jim Short's going to come up with a good game plan to pressure Prescott at least somewhat with some exotic blitzes. No matter how good your offensive line is, if you could overwhelm them with some numbers, you're going to get to the quarterback. And even though Prescott has the athletic ability to get outside, it's going to be tough to get around those guys like Brandon Graham. He's having a career year.
Just remember one thing. That great O-line, Romo got injured last year because of Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, but you know why though? It's because they blitz. And I'm
just saying, our D-line's better than their O-line.
That's very arguable. But regardless, the key to Dallas if they're going to win is to run the ball, and I'm not sure how they're going to do that very effectively against at least Fletcher Cox. So, I mean, it's going to be tough, and it's a divisional game.
We had 6 sacks last week against the Vikings.
That's great. But the Vikings are pretty depleted on offensive line, but still pretty impressive. 5
of those were strip sacks.
Well, Sam Bradford has to keep that ball high.
Yeah, now it's my turn for my 2 cents. We're obviously going to be watching this game in Tampa in our hotel room, most likely, eating some candy and some junk food. Like you said, the Eagles always tend to do well in Dallas for some reason. I will say this though, we had a great game against the Vikings. I found out we completely shut them down. And yes, their defense did play well, but we were able to move the ball, and their offense was not. And don't look at their last-second touchdown. I don't think anybody cared at the end of the game. It was 21-3 up until the last 2 minutes of the game. That's the real score. They didn't care at the end. The Eagles, Carson Wentz played a decent game. If we could get Green Beckham going, if Jordan Matthews could get a little more involved, and if we could get the running backs to stop fumbling the ball in the 4th quarter, I think this should be an easy one for us. And there's a lot of rumors that the Eagles are going to go after Torrey Smith and or Alshon Jeffrey. Now, if we get one of those guys, let alone both, which I think is impossible, if we get one, preferably Jeffrey, and I will give up basically anything on the roster minus Jenkins, Cox, Wentz, and Sproles. Everybody else in the roster is open game for the Bears if they want, including Zach Ertz, who I think is one of the best tight ends in football. Underrated tight ends who doesn't get enough exposure. Anyways, if we get one of those guys to come in right before we play the Dallas Cowboys and go in future for the rest of the year, I don't know. I don't know. I can't pick. But you get what I'm saying. Fly Eagles fly. Next game. For the Monday Nighter, the last game of Week 8. Excuse me. We got the Chicago Bears. They hosting the Minnesota Vikings, who are coming off their first loss and a very disappointing one to beat versus my Philadelphia Eagles, as we just mentioned previously. So who do you have winning this game, Michael?
Pretty obvious, to be honest. Even though the Vikings had a hiccup last game, Mike Zimmer is a no bullshit attitude. He called out their offensive line. He's like, they played like garbage. They played terrible, and they need to wake up. It just shows how good of a coach he is. He's like a Bill Belichick-ish, not as good, I'm just saying, like that attitude, where he just lays into you, wants you to do your job, and is really businesslike. Knows his football, knows his defense. Great coach. So I expect him to come back very, very strong against the Bears, completely shut them down, and have a pretty easy victory, to be honest.
So you got the Vikings winning.
Going into Chicago, beating the Bears.
So Johnny's agreeing with you. He's got the Vikings too. I'm gonna pick them as well. It was a tough loss against the Eagles, and just like when the Eagles beat the Steelers, was it bad Eagles or good Eagles or bad Steelers? Good Eagles or bad Vikings? I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah, for sure.
With that, Chicago sucks either way. Hoyer's out, broken arm. Cutler, I'm not sure if he's starting, and if he isn't, that means my boy, Matt Barkley is starting.
That guy.
So, this guy's been a third string, fourth stringer at best in his career. And I don't think they're going to win, no matter who's playing quarterback on that team. Especially if they trade Jeffrey before the game even happens.
No,
good luck.
When's trade deadline?
The 1st. So
really?
that Monday.
It's like in a week.
Or no, sorry, that Tuesday. So maybe not. Maybe it won't happen then. But apparently the Eagles are pushing for it to happen before the game. Anyways, so we all got the Vikings. Not something I do often, especially considering I love the city of Chicago. I don't like the Bears too much, but I love the city of Chicago. Go Cubs. Do us proud. So that's it for Week 8. Like I said, hopefully Johnny and Eric will be joining us. At least one of them. It kind of sucks just to do it the two of us. And to read off their, my cell phone or whatever. So that's it for this week, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video with your friends. Leave a comment down below of what your picks are for the week. And we'll see you all in the next one. So enjoy the game. Keep a lookout for the Raiders-Bucks game. You might see us in the crowd. We're sitting pretty close.
There's going to be a lot of black jerseys, I'll tell you that much. We're taking over. Raider Nation's everywhere. Best fans in the world.
You'll see me wearing a sleeveless black shirt representing nobody. I'm going to be soaking in that sun because here it's freezing in Montreal. Alright guys, like I said, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Take care guys.